Kevin Duckworth, Clyde Drexler, and Terry Porter. Maybe the deepest team in the NBA is this Portland Trailblazer team. Jack Madden, Dick Pavenik, Greg Willard, our officials. And we are set to get it going from Portland, where Blazer Mania is back, Doug.
Pete, the crowd is so excited. They've had a week off. This team has had a chance to rest and get focused. And it'll be interesting to see how they come out here early in the ballgame. I'm sure they're going to be pumped up. Question will be, will they control it and use it to their advantage, or will it work against them?
And for the Seattle Supersonics, the challenge, a great one, coming off a 500 year. They've been like a football team in the early days of camp, going through two-a-days all week. 2 practices daily to try to get ready for this series. But it'll be the Trailblazers with a chance to get on the board first. The matchups will give them to you as we go along here. Porter picked up by 3.
Let's see if they go inside to Drexler against Gary Payton. I think they feel they have advantage in the post.
They do go into Clyde. He quickly tries to get the pass into Buck Williams, and a foul is going to be called on Sean Kemp.
Seattle is a team that does a lot of switching defensively. They'll switch big on small, small on big, and then they front the post and try to force you to throw over the top. So good spacing will be very important for Portland tonight if they try to get the ball inside.
You saw Casey Jones, the head coach of Seattle, on the bench. He knows what winning championships are all about. All those years with the Celtics as a player and twice as a coach. Drexler's going to try one from out in three-point land. It won't go. Benoit Benjamin pulls down the rebound for Seattle. Freet will bring the ball down. Terry Porter picks him up.
Dale Freet was happy to see you today. Every time he walks in the building when you're here, it's a big night, so we'll have to watch him. That'll be a good barometer.
He got his top 2 games offensively in TNT telecasts, including a 36-point performance. Sean Kemp with the putback, but a whistle. And he'll have a chance now for a 3-point play to get things going for Seattle.
When I talked to Rick Adelman before the game, one of his concerns was offensive rebounding. He told me, he said, we're a team normally that doesn't put a body on you. We go to the basket, we explode, we have our leaping ability that we use. Against Seattle, we're going to have to put a body on them because they jump as well as we do. We'll have to watch that early in the game. We see an offensive rebound by Sean Kemp, a 3-point play. 2 of the 4 games now in this series, 18 offensive rebounds and 26 offensive rebounds for the Sonics.
Wide open along the baseline, hitting the first 2 Portland points of the night is Jerome Kersey. And it's a 1-point Seattle lead early in quarter number 1. Eddie Johnson, if he warms up, he can really hurt you out there. But that one wouldn't go out of bounds off Portland. Ball still belongs to Seattle.
There's a little of the nerves right there. Kersey and Duckworth both going for the rebound. Better to have 2 than none, but just a little excited here to start.
And right away, we're going to have a 20-second timeout call here by Seattle. So Dale Freet called this one on his own.
This is the season series. Now, you're going to see here, the Blazers win this one in 3 overtime. Porter with 2 incredible shots, 38 points to win that ball game. Game 2, you see here 18 offensive rebounds for 26 points. They blew a 24-point lead. Ainge hit 2 3-pointers late to win that one. In game 3, another win here. It's the 13-point lead or win. The Blazers blew a 27-point lead in that point game. The Sonics got it to 3. Drexler with 30. And then in game 4, you see 51 free throws attempted. And they came back from 24 down in Tacoma in the 3rd quarter to win that ball game.
Comes over to Eddie Johnson, down low to Sean Kemp, operating against Buck Williams. Stolen by Clyde Drexler. Drexler gives it off to Buck Williams. Sonics do a pretty good job getting back, but there's Clyde Drexler on the alley-oop for his first 2 of the night. And the Blazers have taken a lead for the first time in this one. Payton working against Porter now. Benoit Benjamin, Kevin Duckworth on him. Benjamin, the little baseline jump hook over him, no good. Rebound by Kemp. The putback, no good. They fight for the rebound along the baseline. It comes off the floor to Kevin Duckworth. Off to Porter.
Again, no block out on the offensive board. Kemp had another chance at an offensive rebound.
Kersey's jumper, no. Benoit Benjamin pulls away the rebound for Seattle. Off to Payton. Quick pass down court, and 2 easy ones for Sean Kemp, who has scored all 5 of Seattle's first quarter points.
This kid has got star written all over him.
21 years old.
He is. He can be so good.
Porter working against Dale Freet.
There's the switch. You see it inside. They find the mismatch. Excellent pass.
And Buck Williams cashes in his first bucket of the night to give Portland back the lead.
Portland read the switch, found Kersey inside. He made the extra pass. That's what you have to do against a switching defense.
Kersey playing very tightly on Dale Freet. Three trying to get by him. Can't. Now stops and fires from the baseline and cashes in his first one. Reed averaged 12.5 points a game during the regular season. And the lead goes back to Seattle by 1. Drexler back outside Duckworth. A mismatch there as Payton came out to get him, and Kevin Duckworth hits the jumper. 4 different Blazers have scored in this first quarter, and they lead it by 1.
Well, you can see right now defensively, Seattle is pushing the guards baseline and doubling up and rotating, and the man outside is popping out. That time, 2 outside jump shots now for Portland as they push the ball down to the baseline and found the open man.
Sedale Threet guarded by Clyde Drexler. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Threet gets it down, sends it back outside to Eddie Johnson. He's going to have to force the shot up to beat the clock. Wouldn't go for him. Rebound comes off to Drexler, down to Kersey. Eddie Johnson only sonic back against Jerome Kersey. Too strong off the glass. Rebound pulled away by Duckworth again. 2 moves over Benjamin, and 2 more points for Kevin Duckworth. Blazers by 3. Duckworth has 4. New faces on the Seattle team since the season began. A couple of them in the starting lineup with Eddie Johnson and Benoit Benjamin. Sean Kemp's baseline jumper wouldn't go, and there's the chairman of the boards, Buck Williams, to pull down a rebound and draw the foul. Sean Kemp committing his second.
Take a look at the pass from Porter. You see the switch. Benjamin on Kersey. Sean Kemp has to come over to give help, and an excellent wraparound pass to Buck Williams. Excellent interior passing by the Portland Trail Blazers. Their defense has been very good. The only baskets they've given up inside are a run-out basket by Kemp and an offensive rebound. Everything else, they're forcing Seattle on the perimeter.
Nobody on Buck Williams, but he just held it. He had a wide-open lane to go through if he wanted to. Comes out to Drexler. Gary Payton all over him. Williams draws the double team. His jump hook wouldn't go. Benoit Benjamin clears for the Sonics, trying to get it down to Sedale Threet. And Clyde Drexler has been on both ends of the court all over the place. Got a hand on that one. Still belongs to Seattle.
You know, if I'm Casey Jones, I'm pretty pleased right now. I've come out here in an emotional situation. We played about 5 minutes in this ball game. We're only down 3, and we're playing pretty good basketball. So with 3 players playing their first playoff game right now in the starting lineup, I have to like what I see.
You saw those scores, and you saw those games here on TNT. What a surprise in Detroit. Eddie Johnson's baseline jumper good. Eddie Johnson, who averaged almost 17 a game for the entire year, starting out with Phoenix, winding up over here at Seattle. Kersey along the baseline for 2. Jerome Kersey with 4.
You see part of the strategy of Seattle. They try to take the ball out of Terry Porter's hands. They run double, force him to give the ball up. Good ball movement that time. Buck Williams throwing it to Kersey, not putting it on the floor.
Payton, guarded by Porter, got away from him, but lost the ball. Duckworth retrieves. Over to Porter. Porter through the paint, dishing off to Drexler underneath. Good defense by Gary Payton that time. He got a hand on the ball. We're going to have a jump ball. Payton, known for his quickness, tying up Clyde the Glide. We've got a timeout. It's 12-9, Blazers.
The whole idea for the design behind Jeep Cherokee is to get
ourselves every time we visit it up here, and there's your score, 12-9. Blazers leading Seattle with 6:41 to go in the first quarter. And we thank our TNT fans here in the Coliseum.
This is a look at the playoff experience of the Seattle Supersonics. You see Benoit Benjamin as a starter. You see Sean Kemp as a starter. You see Gary Payton. None of those guys have played in a playoff game. And I think the real pressure falls upon Gary Payton. He's a big game player, played in Oregon State, has played many times on this floor and had a great career. But coming home, there's a lot of extra pressure, and especially when you're the point guard and you're expected to lead your team. So let's watch him tonight and the way he progresses, especially matched up against Clyde Drexler.
You know, all the attention paid to rookies in the league. Derek Coleman got a lot of ink this year. D. Brown certainly got a lot of ink, especially after All-Star weekend. Gary Payton very quietly put an awful lot of minutes on the court for Seattle. Didn't get a whole lot of publicity, but inheriting a point guard role that's a little bit difficult at times for a rookie to move into.
Very, very hard. It's tough, and you're in a situation as we see him get the tip, and Sedale Threet on the breakaway.
Catches it in with 2 on the other end, 4 for Sedale Threet in his first quarter.
I think you caught Portland by surprise that time. Gary Payton actually got the tip on Drexler. 2 points out of it for the Seattle Supersonics.
Portland up by 1. 6:20 to go, first quarter. Now we have an offensive foul.
Offensive foul, Portland's Buck Williams, his first personal.
It's against Buck Williams. It's his first. And Seattle with a chance now to grab the lead back. Lead is seesawed here in the first 6 minutes of the first quarter.
Derek McKee into the ball game right now. Another explosive player as we see Eddie Johnson hitting the outside jump shot.
That's his fourth point in the quarter. It's 13-12 now.
22nd timeout.
And a 22nd timeout's going to be taken here by Portland. Rick Adelman.
Well, what has happened, Pete, is Seattle is getting up now, and they're overplaying that entry pass so that they can't get the ball in quickly and run the ball up the floor. Portland just lost concentration. 3 guys ran down the floor. No one back to give help, so they had to take a 20-second timeout. We're going to see Eddie Johnson, and this is one thing they got him for from the Phoenix Suns to give them the outside shooting. And when he and Ricky Pierce do this, they're a very difficult team to defend because then they get inside, get to the offensive rebounds, and become devastating inside as well.
I always think, Doug, there's a danger when you finish with the best record in the NBA and you're playing a team that finished at 500. I always feel there's a danger of that team looking ahead just a little bit. Assuming that you're going to win that first round.
There's a big danger, and all the Portland Trailblazers are reading is that they're favored to win the NBA championship.
Drexler for 3, and he hits it. Clyde Drexler brings the crowd back to life. He has 5 in the first quarter, and that puts Portland up by 2 with 5:40 remaining. Over to Eddie Johnson. Johnson hooking it down to Derek McKee. McKee's all-the-way jumper along the baseline. In and out. Duckworth clears for the Blazers. Off to Porter. 3 rebounds for Kevin Duckworth. Porter around the pick set by Kersey.
Now, they've got a mismatch. They have Kersey with Sedale Threet, so if they take their time, they should be able to find it, and he should get the shot.
He does, and nails it. 6 points in the opening quarter for Jerome Kersey. And a 4-point lead now for the Blazers. It is obvious in this first quarter, Seattle wants to play a very deliberate style game.
It's a bad shot by Eddie Johnson. Those are the shots that Portland run on.
But another offensive rebound for Seattle, and Derek McKee may have gotten away with a walk there.
You don't want to take forced shots against Portland because they run out and they hit you with that 8-0-10-2 spurt. There's Sedale Threet again. He loves Pete Van Wieren.
Every time I've seen this guy, I don't think I've ever seen him miss a jump shot live. It's 17-15 now. Threet with 6 points. Almost turned the ball over there. Kevin Duckworth recovered, put the shot up. Shot wouldn't go, but he was fouled.
I'm not so sure that pass was for Kevin Duckworth. I think Duckworth was in the right spot, but I think that pass was to go to Buck Williams.
Pete Van Wieren, Doug Collins with you from Memorial Coliseum in Portland. Game 1 of the best-of-5 series. We will also have Game 2 of this best-of-5 series for you on Sunday night. And here's Kevin Duckworth. Averaged right at 16 a game, missing his first free throw effort. Neither one of these teams particularly good from the line, both about 75%, which in the NBA is not a real high figure.
The one thing about this series, though, is Portland is averaging 41 free throws a game versus Seattle. Now, why is that? Because of all the mismatches, they go inside, they get a lot of opportunities to get fouls against smaller players, and secondly, a lot of offensive rebounds. So free throws have really been a key in the 4-game series.
Blazers up by 3, 4:25 left in this opening quarter. Derek McKee, his first 2 of the night. And it's a 1-point game again. Oh, look at that pass by Drexler. Kersey was able to hang on and going up for the shot. Kevin Duckworth, he was fouled by Benoit Benjamin.
Portland is really being unselfish. They're making the extra pass. Drexler with a behind-the-back pass, and then Kersey with a nice pass. Look at this, behind-the-back, no-look pass. Kersey finds the double team here. Benjamin comes over. The rotation is slow, and Duckworth now goes back to the free throw line.
He has 5 points in this first quarter. He's now 2 out of 3 from the line. His 6-point, 2-point lead for the Blazers. Makes them both. He has 7 in the first quarter, and it's a 3-point Portland lead. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Payton walks it down against Porter. Looking inside, finds Benoit Benjamin. The turnaround, little jump hook wouldn't go. Rebound comes right back to Benjamin. Acquired from the Clippers.
Offensive rebounds. Again, that's about 4 offensive rebounds in the first quarter. It's keeping Seattle in the ball game.
Sedale Threet from outside finally missed one. Rebound battle for, and who's going to pull it down finally? It's finally pulled away by Jerome Kersey, and he was fouled back there. Derek McKee got him. That's his first. And going to the line, Jerome Kersey. And what an improved ball player this young man is since his first year in the league, Doug.
I really believe he's the emotional leader of this team. When they missed him for 9 games, they were able to win some basketball games, but he does all of the little things. Gets the hustle, rebounds, dives, makes a spectacular play in the open court. Plus, he gets out and runs the lane. And when you run the lane, Pete, what that does is you put so much pressure on the defense to get back, and it gives Porter and Drexler a lot of opportunities in the open court to outnumber their people.
He is it for 8 first-quarter points. It's a 5-point Blazer lead, 22-17. 3.5 minutes to go in the first. Payton works against Porter. There's the catch and shoot by Eddie Johnson. This wouldn't go. The tip by Duckworth over to Porter, and Porter will bring it down against Payton. And the Blazers now a chance to open up their biggest lead in this opening quarter.
Another switch. You got Porter wants to take Benjamin. They're going to have to double him up.
He got it right around Benoit Benjamin and laid it up. That's 2 points.
That's the patience of getting the mismatches, taking your time, and then converting. Excellent play by Portland.
Blazers lead it by 7. 3:01 to go. We've got a timeout called by Seattle.
Give me my slippers and my favorite chair.
7 wins, finishing with 16 and 8-5 and 7 in between. So terrific year.
That's a great way to have a season when you win 19 out of your first 20 and then 16 out of your last 17. A little slow there in December for a while, but this Portland Trailblazer team really catching fire again at the right time, right at the end of the regular season. There you see the difference in the shooting percentages. A 7-point Portland lead. Johnson, Benjamin, Ricky Pierce checking into the Seattle lineup now for the first time.
Now you've got a team on the floor. You've got now Ricky Pierce and Eddie Johnson on the floor. 2 explosive offensive players. Ricky Pierce is the guy that can put it on the floor, create the fouls. Eddie Johnson is the catch-and-shoot player that you talked about. McKee and Benoit Benjamin should really crash the offensive boards with this team on the floor.
Payton gets it over to Eddie Johnson. Right back to Gary Payton. Derek McKee turn around over Buck Williams, wouldn't go. Another tip and another rebound for Kevin Duckworth. He's done a good job on the boards in this first quarter for Portland.
Portland's done a nice job defensively.
Blazers up by 7, 2.5 to go underneath Buck Williams in a crowd. He goes up the basket. Good, and he drew the foul.
I am really impressed at the preparation of Portland. When you have time to prepare for a team and all their switching, you can run things that you know are going to create things. Now here's another switch. Here comes Drexler coming off. Now Buck Williams inside against Ricky Pierce. McKee cannot get there soon enough, and a 3-point play opportunity. So you talk about mismatches, overpowering to the basket, free throw opportunities. Portland has done a good job as a result. Have a possible 10-point lead here if Buck Williams makes his free throw.
He doesn't make it. 4 points, but the rebound comes right back out to Porter. Porter launching one, drew the foul from Cage, Michael Cage, who just checked in. And another trip to the free throw line. Well, all of those free throw advantages that the Portland Trailblazers have had against the Seattle club beginning to show itself right in the very first quarter.
They are winning this series. If you look at it, points per game, in the 4 games they've won by a little over 6 points a game. And of those 6 points a game, they've scored 132 free throws to 99 for Seattle, which is plus 33, which comes to over 8 per game. So Seattle actually in the 4-game series has 10 more field goals than Portland, but the free throw line has been the difference.
That is the 3rd miss by the Blazers from the line in this first quarter. Porter makes the second one. He has 3 1/4, and it's a 10-point lead now.
Derek McKee's got to be able to take that shot. He was wide open at 15.
Out it comes to Eddie Johnson. You never have to worry about Eddie Johnson when he's wide open taking that shot, do you? He's a great guy and a great shooter. 6 points in the first quarter.
Seattle showing a little bit 3-quarter trap, trying to take the ball out of Terry Porter's hands. Caused some problems this year with big leads.
Buck Williams had it roll off the rim into the arms of Eddie Johnson. He gives it off to McMillan, who has checked in at the point spot in place of Payton. Cage launches one over Duckworth. Wouldn't go, comes back out to him long. across to Eddie Johnson. Johnson almost lost it as he got into the paint. Had to bring it back outside to McMillan. They still have plenty of time. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Danny Ainge getting ready to check into the Portland lineup. Tipped away finally by Buck Williams. Here's Drexler in a 4-on-1 break. Kersey on the finishing end. He has 10. And the Blazers now lead it by 10 again. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Doug and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game.
Seattle tried to run screen roll. Portland just jammed it, caused the turnover, and got out and ran the lane. That's what Kersey does so well, filling that lane.
A 10-point Portland lead. Seattle with Ricky Pierce trying to warm up from in the paint. Good. His first two. He can get a bunch of points for a team in a hurry if he gets on a hot streak.
Again, Porter now bringing the ball. He's seeing the double team. They're trying to take the ball out of his hands. Does a nice job keeping his dribble alive.
Takes it all the way into the baseline, puts it off the glass, but a little too strong. And it's tipped out by Duckworth. Ball belongs to Seattle. Here comes Danny Ainge and Cliff Robinson checking into the Portland lineup. This is really a deep, deep ball club, Portland. They can go not just 2 deep or 3 deep off the bench. They go about 5 or 6 deep off that bench.
And versatile. They have guys that can play multiple positions. And when you have that, you've got 7 or 8 guys, and it seems like you're playing 12.
McMillan works now against Ainge. You see the time remaining. We've got about 12 seconds on the shot clock. Wide open Ricky Pierce, baseline jumper, good by Rick. He has 4 in this quarter. That's back to a 6-point game again.
Going to hold for 1 shot.
Only tenths of a second's difference. So Portland will play for a final shot here in the opening quarter. Blazers up 29-23. Game 1 of the best-of-5 series. Kersey takes it with 5 seconds remaining. Wouldn't go for him. Rebound battle for it. Kersey drew the foul on the way up. Basket won't count, but Kersey's going to earn a trip to the free throw line with 0.2 of a second remaining in the quarter.
That's the little intangibles that we talked about with Jerome Kersey. The ball is loose. Looks like the quarter's going to run out. He reaches in, picks it up, takes it to the basket, and is going to get 2 free throws. It's those hustle plays that make him the player he is on this Portland team.
When he was first chosen by Portland 7 years ago, he had all the raw ability. But he's become a much better outside shooter. He's developed an outside shot, which he didn't have when he first came into the league.
You know, very similar. He came from a small school, a lot like Scottie Pippen in Chicago. Pippen now developing his outside shot. You have to give a lot of credit to the old great Portland Trailblazer star Jeff Petrie, who's worked with him on his shooting and has helped him very much have the confidence to take that shot so he can use his speed and quickness by taking the ball to the basket.
He has 12 points already in the quarter. And time will expire here as McMillan launched it a little too late. So the Portland Trailblazers on what they hope will be a trip to the NBA championships have opened up a 31-23 first quarter lead over Seattle. We'll be back.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Talked about in the open, Doug, certainly happening in the first quarter.
Well, they played excellent defense, but the thing they did, they read the switches, they got inside, and the big difference is the free throw line. Blazers 8 for 11, Seattle only 1 for 1, so we can see the trend already developing that has happened in the 4 games in the regular season.
And we also see Seattle with an edge in offensive rebounds, 5-3, although they haven't converted on that many of them. And here we go in quarter number 2. It's Cage, McMillan, McKee, Pierce, and Dana Barros has checked into the Sonics lineup now.
Mark Bryant also in for Portland. He'll be along the front line with Cliff Robinson and Jerome Kersey, so really going without a center right now because Seattle's not playing a center.
And Ainge and Drexler the backcourt for the Blazers. Back it comes to Pierce. He was out of bounds.
Swarming Portland defense right now. You can see they're not going to allow Ricky Pierce to get off. Going to try to come over, get the ball out of his hands. And now Drexler's going to make him work on the other end, too. Let's keep our eye inside to Drexler.
Danny Ainge puts one up over Dana Barros. His first shot attempt of the night won't go. Pierce pulls away the rebound.
Well, Danny at 6'5", wanting to post the smaller Dana Barros, just took a quick shot.
Comes into McKee, backing in against Robinson. And a foul call against Cliff Robinson. Atlanta upsetting Detroit in game 1 of that series. A 5-point victory on today's Chevrolet NBA scoreboard. And there's the Boston final from the Garden. Indiana gave them a ball game, though.
Larry Bird, 21, 12, and 12. I wondered whether Bird was going to play. He only played 41 minutes.
Got some big buckets down the stretch for Boston. And Robinson's been whistled for 2 quick ones.
Now, I think what Portland's going to have to be very careful with. The team right now that Seattle has on the floor, this is a very good pressing team. Nate McMillan, McKee, Barros, and Cage, and Ricky Pierce. Terry Porter is not in the game to handle the basketball, so let's see if Seattle tries to swarm them here, maybe create some turnovers. One of the things that hurt Portland, they had big leads in this series, and when Porter, they took the ball out of his hands, they turned the ball over, and they lost big leads. So let's see if Seattle comes after them in the full court.
Ricky Pierce, who was 3rd in the league at 91, well, actually 913. You have to carry it out 3 spaces to get the free throw percentage leader in the league this year. Reggie Miller was 918, Jeff Malone 917, and Ricky Pierce 913. And it comes to Drexler, 31-25. Blazers by 6 early in the second quarter, and a whistle on a travel violation. So Cliff Robinson's had his second quarter problems here. 2 fouls and a turnover.
Cliff Robinson's a little excited right now. He needs to just calm down a little bit, trying to do too much too quickly. Very natural.
I like the headband he's wearing tonight.
Yeah, well, that's red, and in the second half, it'll probably be a black when he changes at halftime. So.
A travel call right back the other way. Ricky Pierce called for this violation, turns it right back over to the Blazers.
Again, no natural point guard on the floor right now for Portland. They're going to have Cliff Robinson bring the ball up against Derek McKee.
Shows you what kind of an athlete he is. He's 6'10", and he's bringing the ball down. Drexler working on Pierce, got by him, but lost the ball. Pierce got the first hand on him, and it was finally tipped away by McMillan.
Barros is an excellent three-point shooter. They get up on him.
First one of his efforts from three-point land wouldn't go.
You can see that one coming, though.
And Danny Ainge brings it down for the Blazers. Both teams a little cool right now.
Well, both teams have gone to the bench, and they've lost their rhythm right now.
There's Clyde Drexler trying to reestablish some rhythm in the paint. And he was fouled, and fouled good by Nate McMillan.
That's a good foul. It's a hard foul. You don't want to give up a dunk to Clyde Drexler. That gets the crowd all excited. Clyde gets the little back pick here, little back cut here. Barros overplays, nice pass. And you want to keep him from dunking the basketball. He's a little bit like Michael Jordan in Chicago. And then when Drexler plays big around the basket, this crowd really gets into the game.
There you see the numbers on Drexler in the top 20 in the league in scoring during the regular season. This Portland team very well balanced with their scoring, as is Seattle. They don't really rely on one guy or another on any given night to lead them in point production. They have a lot of people capable of doing that. McMillan going in hard against Cliff Robinson, and who's the foul going to be on this time? Is that going to be on Robinson again? It is, and that's 3 on him. He has picked up 3 quick ones here in the second quarter. Portland crowd and Rick Adelman, too, looking for the offensive foul call. They didn't get it. The starting point guard on this team until Gary Payton came along.
It's not been Cliff Robinson's night as of yet. Still a long time to go. But he's in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
McMillan makes 1 of 2. It's now a 7-point game, 33-26. Still no field goals for either side yet. We're about 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Walter Davis trying to change that one. And the tip by Clyde Drexler is good. First field goal by either side here in the second quarter. Blazers have extended that lead back to 9.
I think you can see Rick Adelman wants to develop this bench for the playoff run. That's why he has the depth. He's got Davis in the game, Ainge in the game, Robinson, Mark Bryant. Realizing in the Western Conference, you're going to have to go through some tough playoff series. He's going to need 9 or 10 guys to be able to get through this long stretch.
And you see Buck Williams coming back in, but another member of that bench, Danny Young, also checks in now for Portland. As we said, Portland is not the kind of a team that's going to play playoff series using only 7 or 8 guys like you see a lot of teams do.
If Portland only had 7 players, I would question whether or not they could get out of the West, but they have enough depth, so if they go deep in series, fatigue should not be a factor.
Ricky Pierce from long range over Danny Ainge wouldn't go, and the loose ball foul is going to be called underneath. That's his second. Larry Remind you that upcoming tomorrow, another playoff doubleheader here on TNT. Utah, Phoenix, and then Philadelphia, Milwaukee. Game 2 in each of those series right here on TNT.
Seattle starting to get in foul trouble again. We know that Portland shot 11 free throws in the first quarter. 2 quick fouls here again on Seattle, and they want to keep the Portland Trail Blazers off that free throw line.
Danny Young works against Barrows.
Buck Williams has a mismatch with Ricky Pierce. They did not see it. He should be able to get to the offensive boards.
Bryant took the shot over Benjamin, wouldn't go. The smallest man out there, Dana Barrows, comes away with a rebound. 35-26, Blazers by 9. We've got 8:45 to go in the first half. Benoit Benjamin's shot from the paint won't go, but he drew the foul. Mark Bryant got him, his first. And Benoit Benjamin will try for his first points of this ball game.
Normally you would see Wayne Cooper probably in this situation against Benoit Benjamin. Rick Adelman has talked about Wayne Cooper having some knee problems, so I don't know whether we will see him tonight. It'll be interesting to see how long they'll be able to go without really a true center on the floor with Benjamin back. You might see Duckworth back in the game here real soon.
Sean Kemp checking back in along with Gary Payton. And there's Benoit Benjamin ranking in the top 10 in the league in rebounds and in block shots acquired from the Clippers, but still does not give you the consistency that you look for from that big man.
You're right. He's been a little bit of a tease through his career. He shows you on particular nights and then sort of disappears. And for him to get the respect that he wants to get as a center in this league, and a good one, he's going to have to put together a consistent year.
Walter Davis straddling the line. Drills one.
Well, that's why they picked up Walter Davis. Clutch shooter.
37-28. Blazers a 9-point lead. Here comes Payton back in the lineup.
Here comes Duckworth back. I think you can see right now that if Seattle could go inside to Benjamin, he's got the size over Mark Bryant.
Ricky Pierce takes it over Danny Ainge along the baseline. Wouldn't go. Bryant the rebound for the Blazers. Off to Danny Young. Young finds Walter Davis down in the corner.
You know, when Walter Davis first got here, Pete, he was too unselfish. He wasn't looking for his shot.
Oh, look at that pass by Ainge over to Bryant along the baseline. No, rebound pulled away by Benoit Benjamin off to Payton. 5 boards by Benjamin tonight. Payton goes coast to coast, shovels it off to Ricky Pierce for 2.
It's a great play by Gary Payton, getting in the lane, unselfishly finding Ricky Pierce for the easy layup.
It's a 7-point lead now for the Blazers. Payton staying right on Danny Young, and Young throws the ball away. Buck Williams was breaking the other way.
This is Gary Payton at his best. Open floor player. You see him get inside. He brings Buck Williams. And there's the easy layup for Ricky Pierce. Now, Ricky Pierce is a scorer. You don't like to see him get easy layups if you're the opposing coach, because what that does is that gives him more confidence to continue to take that outside jump shot.
Payton spins away from Young, runs into a crowd, still tried the shot, wouldn't go for him. Kevin Duckworth pulled away the rebound. He's got a half-dozen rebounds in this first half.
Well, that was a rookie shot there. He got in the lane and just had no place to go.
Walter Davis with McKee on him. Nope, rebound tipped by Danny Ainge, pulled away finally by Sean Kemp. And the Sonics keep chipping away at this Portland lead. They can cut it to 5 now, closing in on the 7-minute mark. Terry Porter getting ready to check back in the Portland lineup. Eddie Johnson's going to check back in for Seattle next dead ball. McKee takes it, wouldn't go. Rebound, Buck Williams.
Derek McKee has had 2 or 3 easy baseline shots. He's not been able to hit them.
That one wouldn't go, and McKee comes away with it for Seattle. Crowd getting a little upset with some of the shot selection they've seen lately. There's a long-range bomb by Ricky Pierce. That wouldn't go. Benjamin is a half-dozen rebounds now. That's a 2-point effort by Sean Kemp. That wouldn't go. That's 7 boards now for Benoit Benjamin. Another offensive rebound for Seattle.
Isn't it amazing how when two teams play each other, you talk about offensive rebounds, Seattle, you talk about free throws for Portland. This is the 5th game they've played, and the script is the same.
Portland has the lead. Only 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Pierce in some traffic, still able to drop that jumper. That's a good, tough shot there by Ricky Pierce, and he now has 10 points.
He has such a strong body that he can bump you and get just enough daylight to release it.
Danny Ainge trying one from out in three-point land. Wouldn't go. Rebound Payton down to Sean Kemp. This young man runs into Danny Ainge and is fouled by Ainge. His first.
Foul on Danny Ainge.
This is Ricky Pierce at his best right here. Isolating. Now what he's going to do, watch the little bump. Right there, he bumps Danny Ainge just enough to get the daylight for the...
As the world gets smaller and what we need to know gets bigger, the arts make a difference in what students learn and how they learn. The arts help
matches, and they weren't able to do that with the second unit. Terry Porter is now back into the ball game.
It is Porter and Ainge in the backcourt. Buck Williams, Jerome Kersey, and Kevin Duckworth up front for Portland. Johnson, Kemp, Pierce, Benjamin, and Payton in there for Seattle. This is the fourth time these two clubs have hooked up in a playoff series. First time was '78. Seattle beat Portland 4-2 in the conference semifinals. In 1980, Seattle took a 2-out-of-3 series in the first round from Portland. And in '83, Portland swept a 2-game series. That's when the first round used to be 2-out-of-3. Kemp missing the free throw.
This Seattle team has a lot of talent and a lot of depth. If they can come together with some chemistry, they can be a very dangerous team.
37-33, a 4-point lead now for the Blazers. Porter up against Payton, and Payton going to be called for the foul. The rookie out of Oregon State called for his first.
Well, you can just see Casey Jones want to cringe over there. That's twice Terry Porter has faked the guy into the air at the three-point line and got to the free throw line. Casey Jones has done an excellent job. He's an excellent teacher. He's got a team right now, as I've said before, they have a lot of talent, and right now they just have to keep this team together and let it grow. Because when you look out there, Pete, they've got young players. They've got a nice blend of veterans. They now have a center that can block some shots if they get consistency out of Benjamin. Young forwards. I like what they've done with their roster.
Only problem is in the playoffs, they haven't been together long enough.
That's right.
To make a factor. We'll see.
It might not be this year,
right.
But I mean, if they keep it together, it could come.
But it could be.
Right.
They are hanging in there tough with the Blazers here in Portland. 39-33, 5:17 to go. Blazers a 6-point lead. Pierce working against Ainge. Over to Eddie Johnson. Johnson from out the three-point line, a little wide left. Another rebound for Kevin Duckworth. He has 8 rebounds in his first half. He only averaged 6.5 rebounds per game during the regular season. Johnson now picks up Ainge.
Kersey has a mismatch with Gary Payton if they can find him.
Ainge worked himself loose, couldn't get the jumper to fall, and that's 8 rebounds now for Bernard Benjamin. Off to Eddie Johnson. Drexler and Duckworth quickly back for Portland. So he gives it off to Gary Payton, and they'll run the half-court game here. 4.5 minutes to go, first half. Pierce tries a 3. Wouldn't go for him. Another rebound, number 9 for Kevin Duckworth. This quarter has been shoot and miss. Duckworth gets the rebound. Shoot and miss. Benjamin gets the rebound. Ainge shoots and misses. Kemp gets the rebound.
I don't like Portland shot selection the last couple times down the floor. I think they're taking outside shots when they don't need to.
First field goal of the night for Bernard Benjamin, and that gets the Seattle Sonics back to within 4. Closing in on the 4-minute mark.
If Portland has a weakness, it's sometimes they get a little distracted. They'll start shooting some of those shots. They'll lose a little bit of their concentration, and they'll blow big leads. And it's because of this, these long shots and not taking their time with the patience. There's an illegal defense. Kemp got away with it.
Kersey into the paint for 2. A tough shot for Jerome Kersey. He now has 14 points in the ball game, and that gets the Blazers back on top by 6. Seattle playing this deliberate pace. They've played this since the opening tip.
Well, the word is, if you're going to beat Portland, you're going to have to do it in a half-court game.
Eddie Johnson tied up 11 jump ball. Clyde Drexler checking back in for Portland. Sedale Threet checking back in for Seattle. Danny Ainge sits down for the Blazers. And Ricky Pierce heads to the Seattle bench. The rebounds are dead even. 19 per team. Seattle, as we expected, the offensive rebounding edge. Kemp controls. Somebody's open. It's Eddie Johnson in the corner.
Can't leave him open.
Eddie Johnson now with 8 points in this first half. That's back to a 4-point lead, 41-37. Duckworth picked up by Johnson, gets it over to Drexler. Wide open, Jerome Kersey, who's had a big first half. That one wouldn't go. Benjamin tipped it, but into the hands of Kevin Duckworth. And Duckworth finishes the play. He has 9 points, gets that lead back up to 6. Under 3 minutes remaining first half. Turns the ball over to Kersey. Kersey off to Porter. Over to Drexler. Drexler got the basket. Drew the foul. Sadeo Freed will be charged with his first, and Clyde Drexler with a chance for a three-point play.
You just cannot turn the ball over against Portland. They might be a team, along with Chicago, that will hit you with spurts, and this is what they'll do. They'll cause turnovers, get out and run. Excellent play.
2:38 remaining in the half.
For any kid that wants to be a professional athlete, there's nothing wrong with that being your dream. Chase it with all your heart and all your might and all your soul, but also realize the odds aren't great, so you have to couple that with a good education. And the odds of you being successful with a good education are definitely in your favor. Stay in school. It's your best move.
A message furnished by Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, the NBA, and its players.
Here, but Sadeo Freed calls for the screen roll. Kemp steps out, they push it baseline, they double team, and here comes Kersey on the rotation, picks it off, and this is what Portland does so well. Now they run out against you. Here's Clyde Drexler at 6'7" and a great leaper. He's going to finish it with a three-point play opportunity. Great defense there against the screen roll by the Portland Trail Blazers.
And a chance for a three-point play when play resumes here. 45-37. Blazers have built that lead back up to 8 points. A reminder, game 2 in this series will be here in Portland, and Doug and I will have it for you Sunday night, part of a Sunday doubleheader. We've got 4 straight playoff doubleheaders for you to open up our playoff coverage here on TNT. We had a great one last night in that LA-Houston second game. Here's what's coming up at halftime. A recap of game 1 in the Pacers-Celtics series. Highlights of a big upset in Detroit. Hawks and the Pistons. And Nike Madness. On our Prudential halftime report, Ernie Johnson, Rick Barry back in our Atlanta studios for that. Atlanta-Detroit will be game 1 of our Sunday doubleheader, and then Seattle-Portland, game 2 of the Sunday twin bill. 12 points for Drexler. It's 46-37. Now it comes to Benjamin. He gets it out to Sadeo Freed. Good defense making the Sonics work. Down to 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Johnson put up an impossible shot that wouldn't go. Rebound pulled away by Williams. We've got a 3-on-1 Blazer break off to Kersey, the trailer. The Blazers are starting to cook.
That's one of those spurts. It's all created by their defense. You got a turnover on the screen roll, three-point play, bad shot, poor floor balance. They run out and get another layup, 5 quick points.
And the biggest lead of the night now for the Blazers, 48-37, up by 11.
Real critical these last 2 minutes. Seattle does not want to let him get up to 15. They got to get a good score here.
Freet from outside drills one. Sadeo Freet with 8 points in this first half. That's back to a 9-point Portland lead.
Drexler looked for him for the alley-oop here. They got Payton on the overplay.
Drexler bumped out by Benjamin, but he's guilty of stepping out of bounds on his own, says Jack Madden.
Here's Drexler in the open floor to Porter. Draws Sadeo Freed, and who's running the lane again? Jerome Kersey.
Down to a minute 15 remaining in the first half. Sean Kemp will take the jumper over Buck Williams. Well, this kid's got a chance to be a first player, doesn't he?
He's got star written all over him.
He's got all kinds of inside moves.
And he's got a live body, runs, jumps, and he's fearless in there around the basket. He loves to get inside and dunk the basketball.
Under a minute to go now. Another Portland turnover, giving Seattle a chance to get right back in it. They had that little spurt to give them an 11-point lead, their biggest of the half, and now the Sonics can cut it right back to 5. Trying to get it underneath to Benoit Benjamin. Drexler trying for the steal. It trickles off Benjamin out of bounds, and Portland gets it back.
You don't want to force the ball inside to Benoit Benjamin. If he's open, throw it to him, but don't force it to him. He's not going to be able to catch the ball in a traffic like that.
Gary Porter's shot wouldn't go. Payton pulls down the rebound for Seattle.
So you see Portland getting a little impatient in their offense. They get an 11-point lead. They get a little impatient. Now they get a chance to cut it down to 5.
There's Freed again for 2 more. He has 10 in this first half. And it's down to a 5-point game now, 48-43.
Clyde Drexler has no shoe on right now. He's trying to get his shoe on as he came out of it.
Seattle trying to trap Porter.
There's Drexler trying to get his shoe on. Now he's guarding Sedale 3. The little mismatch here. Sedale's playing a guy with one shoe on. I guess that's taking advantage of it.
You see the time ticking off in this first half. Porter trying to weave his way between Benjamin and Threet. And a kick ball there, so it'll still belong to Portland with a little over 6 seconds to go.
If Seattle can keep Portland from scoring here, this last 2 minutes has been very important. Instead of going to 15, they've got it down to 5.
Kersey will put it up over Eddie Johnson. Basket wouldn't go, but Eddie Johnson's going to be called for his second personal. And here we go back to the free throw line again. Kersey's pretty good at this. He did it at the end of the first quarter.
That's right. He had .2. Now it's, what is it, 2.5. So
2.5 seconds left this time, and he gets himself back to the line. 16 points on the night for Jerome Kersey. 4 out of 4 from the free throw line. Big first half for Jerome Kersey, who averaged 15 a game. You look at the scoring on this Portland team during the regular season. Cliff Robinson, 12. Jerome Kersey, 15. Buck Williams, 12. Kevin Duckworth, 16. Walter Davis, 13. Danny Ainge, 11. Clyde Drexler, 21. Terry Porter, 17. That's the depth.
they have 7 guys in double figures, 6 current or former all-star players on this team.
Kemp launches one as the buzzer sounds, ending the first half. Portland unable to pull away, but they do have a 7-point lead at halftime. It's 50-43, our Prudential halftime report coming up next.
The 1991 NBA playoffs are brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to see why more people are winning with...
To a very good start in the first quarter. When they went to the bench, they got a little out of whack. Their shot selection went south on them. They missed some tough shots. And I'm with you, Ernie. I think that they had a chance there to get blown out at the end of the first half, maybe 15. Got 3 quick field goals to get it back to 5, which kept them right in this game.
Doug, in the first half, it seemed that when Portland was aggressive with their defense, it created some good opportunities for them. And they are certainly much better in an up-tempo game. What can we look for from Portland in the second half defensively?
Well, I think they've got 7 offensive rebounds, 13-2, only 1 field goal, 1 for 10 from the bench. Walter Davis hit a jump shot. Other than that, they got nothing. This is sort of what Seattle depended on. Sean Kemp around the basket, kept the ball alive. This is their first basket of the ball game, a 3-point play opportunity for Sean Kemp. He had a very good first half. And here's a screen roll. You're going to see him smother the ball here. Nate McMillan, the turnover. And 2 or 3 times when Seattle tried to run screen roll, Portland defended it very, very well and ended up getting fast break opportunities.
And there's always one key to a series, isn't there, Doug? You can take away one portion of a team's game and really destroy them in that series.
Absolutely.
Especially in a 5-game series.
Absolutely, and I think that the key guy has been Jerome Kersey. In the regular season, he averaged 23 points a game against them, almost 11 rebounds. And tonight, he's had a big first half. 18 points, 6 for 6 from the foul line, got out and did a nice job, so he's really been the key man.
Well, quarter number 3 about to begin now. Memorial Coliseum, another sellout. They've been selling them out here for years, about 14 straight years. And it's going to be Duckworth, Kersey, Williams, Drexler, and Porter, the starting unit for Portland. Payton, Johnson, Benjamin, Threet, and Sean Kemp, the starting unit for Seattle. Sean Kemp is going to take the first shot of quarter number 3, comes up short, rebound kept alive, and then pulled away by Jerome Kersey.
I think this first 6 minutes is very important for Portland. They don't want to let Seattle continue to hang around.
Kevin Duckworth's shot wouldn't go, but there's Clyde Drexler with the putback. He has 14, and the first 2 points of the second half belong to the Blazers, who have opened up a 9-point lead.
The longer the underdog stays around, the greater their confidence gets for an upset. If you're Portland, you want to establish some distance right now.
Well, Buck Williams almost got the steal there. Benjamin working on Duckworth, puts the fall-away jumper up over Kevin Duckworth and hits it. Benoit Benjamin now has 6 in the game, and it's back to a 7-point Blazer lead.
Benoit Benjamin also did a good job on the backboard, 8 rebounds in the first half.
Inside to Kersey. Kersey double team, gets it back out to Drexler for a 3-point effort. This one short. Rebound is pulled off the floor, still rolling loose. And Sedale Threet finally comes away with it for the Sonics. Seattle on the run. Threet goes wall to wall for 2. Offensive foul. They're going to call it.
That's a good call, Pete. He wiped away with his left arm. Sedale made a nice move to get in the lane, but when the shot was defended, watch his left arm. Nice move in the open court. Just focus on his left arm. There's the clear away right there. Good call.
Second foul called against Threet. Ball goes back to the Blazers. 52-45, Portland on score. Another turnover as Payton got a hand on this one. Back to Sedale Threet. This time he is fouled from behind by Kersey. Kersey thought he had a block there, but instead he's picked up his second foul and sends Sedale Threet to the free throw line.
Now the play that Seattle just defended was the one that Rick Barry drew up at halftime. This time Payton read it and he intercepted the pass, knocked it down, and Sedale Threet then with the breakaway. It's tough to see from there. I think he got it clean up top. Maybe got him with the body.
Threet now with 11 points on the night. That's his first free throw. Pete Van Weer and Doug Collins with you from Portland, Oregon. Game 1 of the best-of-5 series between the Blazers and the Sonics. Blazers with the best record overall in the regular season. They've got the home court advantage as long as they stay in the playoffs. 52-47, back to a 5-point game. Drexler spins and rolls off the front edge of the rim. Kevin Duckworth pulls away the rebound, kicks it back out to Porter.
3 seconds in the lane. Tremendous defense that time by Seattle. They scrambled, they double-teamed, they rotated. Took the ball out of Porter's hands, and then Portland really floundering right now in the half-court game.
Seattle appears to have turned it up a notch defensively here in this third quarter. They've got a chance now to pull it within 3.
They're getting more confident as every minute goes by. Every one of those shots start to go in.
And Eddie Johnson now in double figures with 10. It's a 3-point Portland lead.
I think this is a good move by Rick Adam. A little bit more motion in the offense that time. A little passing game. Get some bodies cutting. That time Kersey with the open jump shot. They've been getting a little stagnant. With time motion passing game, got the easy jump shot.
Kersey's had a lot of big baskets in this game for Portland. He now has 20 points on the night. They're up by 5 again. Benoit backs in against Duckworth. The jump hook from the paint. Duckworth called for his first personal.
If we get a shot of the Seattle bench over here right now, you see Bob Kloppenberg over there. He's holding up a card. He calls the defensive signals. You see Casey Jones are talking to Sedale Threet. If you go to the bench, there's Bob Kloppenberg. That's the defensive signals for Seattle. He calls all their defenses with those cards. So every time there's a free throw or a loose ball, he holds up a card and they know what defense. They have about 6 or 8 different defenses they run.
Benjamin hits them both. He now has 8 points on the night. 54-51. Again, the lead. Cut back to 3. And now a little pressure applied in the backcourt by Seattle. But Portland quickly beats it. Nice pass over to Kevin Duckworth. And he's fouling the way up. Seattle not happy with the call. But Benoit Benjamin is going to be nailed for his 3rd.
Nice job, though, by Benoit Benjamin. He did not give up the dunk. You do not want to give the easy basket. He goes up and contests. We get a chance to look from our slam cam, a view I never had.
Only Manute Bol has that view every day.
See, now you give the foul up and he misses the free throw.
So you've saved yourself 1 point already.
You talk so much about you don't give up easy baskets in the playoffs, and that's what you have to do. You have to force teams to beat you at the free throw line, step up there under pressure, and make the free throws.
Duckworth now with 10 points. It's a 4-point lead. And Seattle will try to trade that 1 point for 2 now in this trip down and cut it to a 2-point game. Threet with Kersey on it. Puts the jumper up over Jerome Kersey. Wouldn't go for him. Drexler pulls away the rebound. Starts the Blazers on the run. It comes right back to Clyde Drexler, but he had the ball stripped away by Payton. Duckworth gets it back along the baseline underneath to Buck Williams, and Williams cashes in. He has 6. And the lead back up to 6.
Seattle's got to be very careful right now. When the game gets a little ragged, they got to slow it down. They do not want to get into this game where they just go crazy.
And we've got a little rough stuff starting underneath in this one. Sean Kemp being pushed aside.
They better get Sean Kemp and Buck Williams away from each other right now. Those guys talking to each other.
For the second straight night, 2 of the 3 officials, Jack Madden and Dick Bavetta, involved in an altercation.
The referee's got to be very careful right now. They're all three over here talking, and you've got Buck Williams and Sean Kemp. Here's what happens now. Buck Williams are going to set a screen on him, and he's just going to blast through the screen. Here comes Eddie Johnson. He's just going to blast through the screen, and Sean Kemp takes exception to it and pushes him. That's a technical foul. Got to be careful now not to throw any punches. You throw a punch, you're ejected. So right now the referee's sorting through what's going to transpire after this happens.
Last night, Jack Madden and Dick Pavetta were talking about Terry Teagle taking 2 punches at Jamerson of Houston. And in case you didn't hear, Terry Teagle was given a pretty stiff penalty, a $7,500 fine, and suspended for 1 game.
That could really cost them, too, because now they've got to play a ball game at home without their big guard off the bench. I was kidding Dick Pavetta and Jack Madden as we walked out on the floor tonight. I said, anything exciting happened in your guys' life recently? After the L.A. game last night with the fight and with the shot clock discrepancy.
Well, the technical call on Sean Kemp, and shooting it for Portland will be Terry Porter, who has 5 points on the night. He's 3 out of 4 from the line. As we've mentioned a couple of times, this is a great rivalry. These two cities only 180 miles apart. Here's an upstairs look at it.
Well, Buck Williams just punishes him there. And there's Sean Kemp with a push, and there's Kersey with the push back. Luckily, Kersey did not also receive a technical foul for pushing.
And play is about to resume.
You feel it heating up, don't you? You feel the intensity, the defense really cranking it up right now.
Also, during that delay, you saw Greg Willard, the third official, have a long talk with Sean Kemp, almost like a father scolding his son. Sadale Preet from three-point land. Wouldn't go. Rebound pulled away by Drexler. And he's going to bring it down a little more slowly this time.
If Portland scores here, Casey Jones might have to get a timeout. Portland starting to get a little one of those spurts. Seattle right now getting a little excited.
Payton got a hand in, he and Kersey, and they're going to call the foul on Jerome Kersey.
It's a good call.
His third.
Jerome Kersey that time pushed off with the off arm on Gary Payton as Payton had to steal, but it was a good foul because Payton would have had a layup.
So it'll be Seattle's ball, far side of the court. Down by 7 with 7:49 remaining, third quarter.
Walk.
Can't travel.
So when I'm talking about young players getting excited right now, Sean Kemp got into it emotionally with Buck Williams, got to calm himself down.
Porter walks the ball down for Portland over to Drexler, has to save it inbounds out near midcourt. Duckworth retrieves.
Gary Payton is doing a terrific job on Clyde Drexler, not letting him post up. There's a walk.
There's a walk by Kevin Duckworth. Going to give it right back to Seattle. We're reaching one of those spells like we had in quarter number 2 at about the same time, where both teams a little cool and turning the ball over quite frequently.
You see, half-court basketball in the playoffs becomes a different game.
Eddie Johnson through the paint for 2, and EJ now with 12 on the night. It's back to a 5-point Portland lead. Drexler takes it over Eddie Johnson. Wouldn't go. Rebound is tipped in.
Jerome Kersey everywhere.
He has had all the big buckets for the Blazers tonight. 22 points in the game. 7-point lead again for Portland. Johnson's going to try it again, and that lane was wide open for him for the second straight trip. He's got 6 in the quarter, 14 in the game.
Well, Duckworth is not stepping out. He's got to bump that man on the curl. Kersey's trailing and expecting him to step up and bump him. No one's in the lane. He's curled in there twice for 2 layups. Duckworth's got to step out.
5-point lead again for the Blazers. 3 on Porter. Payton gets a hand on it, but tips it into the hands of Buck Williams, and now Gary Payton's going to be called for the personal foul. It's his second. We got a timeout called. Seattle hanging in there. They're down by just 5. 6:19 remaining in the third quarter. We've got a timeout.
The 1991 NBA playoffs are brought to you by Nissan, built for the human race, and by BF Goodrich TA Tires, the most exciting change you can make to your car.
If I had a Z.
Benjamin, Payton, Johnson, Threet, and McKee on the court now for Seattle. Williams, Duckworth, Drexler, Porter, and Jerome Kersey, who's had a big game for the Blazers. And it comes to Drexler. Porter got around Sadale Threet. His baseline jumper wouldn't go, though. The tip home.
Is that Jerome Kersey again?
It was Jerome Kersey again.
Man,
24 points and a lot of big baskets in this quarter.
where he loves to play against Seattle.
62-55, Blazers by 7. Johnson looking for that same open lane, couldn't find it, instead steps back and hits the jumper.
You know what I like? You know what I like that Seattle's done? They've run the last play three straight times, said until you stop it, we're going to keep running it at you.
Make them adjust,
and
if
I
they don't
like
adjust, we're just going to keep at it, and it wasn't there, the lane wasn't open, so Eddie Johnson just stepped back and put home the jump shot.
You know, sometimes you have something working for you, and you go away from it. I like that. You stay with it until you make them stop it.
5:49 to go in the third, 5-point lead. Against some backcourt pressure now. We'll see if Portland get the ball down. Porter does cross the timeline. Takes it all the way in, puts it up over 3, threw up an air ball. There's Jerome Kersey again. This time it wouldn't go, and McKee comes away with a rebound. Portland crowd looking for a travel call there. Didn't get it. Preet down to Johnson. Johnson fouled by Clyde Drexler. First foul of the night on Clyde.
Terry Porter has gotten a little bit, you know, out of, I don't want to say out of control, but out of sync, I guess is the right word offensively. He's looking to try to take the ball against Sedale 3, and he's taken a couple bad shots. He's the point guard. He's got to run his team's offense. He's a tremendous player, but he's got to make sure he keeps his team in sync.
And here's Eddie Johnson, who's had a big third quarter. He's got 9 in the quarter, 17 in the game now. That trade brought him over from Phoenix, the X-Man, Major McDaniel, going down to the Phoenix Suns.
I think they also got a first-round pick in that deal, too. So Seattle's building for the future. They got a few first-round picks. Things looking better.
And it's looking better in this game for the Sonics right now. They're only down by 3, 62-59, 5:17 to go third.
But Payton's done a super job against Drexler. Super job.
He's also picked up 8 assists in this ball game.
Portland right now is getting distracted. They've allowed the officials in Seattle to get to him. There's a lot of jawing going on right now. Rick Adelman has a look of concern on his face right now because his team has lost their purpose.
Eddie Johnson back to the free throw line after the foul on Kersey. And the veteran in his 11th NBA season, leading this drive back by the Sonics. 12 in the quarter, 20 in the game. It's a 1-point Portland lead. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Alley-oop to Clyde Drexler.
That's what they've been looking for. Drexler in the post. A good spacing, an excellent pass. Payton tried to front him, and they just threw right over his head.
Drexler with 16. The lead back up to 3. See if they go to the man who's had the hot hand. They do. Eddie Johnson. Kersey's on him. He hooks it in the paint to Benoit Benjamin. Porter got a hand on that ball. Who does it belong to? It belongs to the Blazers. Stripped away by Porter.
This building is noisy. I think this in Chicago Stadium might be the 2 noisiest buildings.
Kersey has an open lane. Benoit Benjamin blocked that shot. Here's Gary Payton on the run. He got fouled back at midcourt. So the basket won't count, and Payton's going to have to get those 2 from the free throw line.
Gary Payton exploded out of the pack. Benoit Benjamin, now this is where they got him. He's one of the leading shot blockers in the NBA. Comes over, nice block shot, and Gary Payton just explodes out of the pack with a loose ball. Nice give and go, and this is what your big man's supposed to do. He's supposed to patrol that lane for you, guard that basket.
So the Oregon State rookie still seeking his first points of this game. Now has 1. And that gets it back to a 2-point.
You know, Gary Payton is adjusting to a role, so he averaged about 25 points a game his last year at Oregon State. He's only taken 1 shot, so that's a real adjustment for a kid to come in and say, I'm going to run the team, and I'm going to get the ball to my other scorers and really not look for my own offense.
Well, he just picked up his first 2 points, but he has definitely been a factor. It's a 1-point game. They've got Porter trapped in the corner. He gets rid of it to Duckworth. Good ball movement. Gets it back to Drexler. Nice shot by Clyde Drexler. He has gotten the last 2 Blazer buckets. He has 18 in the night to get that lead back up to 3. Closing in on the 4-minute mark in quarter number 3. They are looking for Eddie Johnson every trip down because he's had the hot hand in the corner now. Gary Payton's going to shoot one from outside. The youngster from Oregon State gets his first field goal. Back to a 1-point game. Little turnaround in the free throw situation in this third quarter, Doug. Seattle's hit 10 out of 10. Portland only 4 trips to the line.
Well, there's a big difference right there. That's why they've been able to cut into the lead. Portland has not gotten to the free throw line. Look at the swarming
team on
defense.
Kersey. Into Buck Williams, and the veteran banks it home.
Seattle is gaining confidence as this game is going on. They feel better and better about their
to see
chance.
things work.
That's right.
Defensively in particular. 68-65. Crowd trying to get this Portland club going. Even though the Blazers lead, there have been signs of problems. Kersey had a hand on it. Ball still rolling loose. Benoit Benjamin on the ground with it is going to be tied up.
Now, Pete, I would tell you, this is the first game of the first round of the playoffs. This is amazing. Now, you want to think about intensity. Look at this. There's a loose ball. Duckworth with a hustle play. Here comes Kersey. He's on the floor. Benjamin's on the floor. Buck Williams is on the floor. Kersey goes down. That was a pin and a near fall.
Third foul call against Buck Williams. Benoit Benjamin with a chance again to get the Sonics back to within 1. He has 8 points tonight. He's a perfect 4 from the line. His first miss from the free throw line. And the first miss in the quarter by Seattle. They're now 10 of 11 in this third quarter from the line.
Well, after being outscored by 8 free throws in the first half, they're +7 here in the third quarter.
Benjamin makes 1 of 2. 9 points on the night, a 2-point game. Let's see if that Sonic defense gets another stop on Portland this trip.
Sedale Three's doing a great job pressuring Terry Porter. He's really disrupted the offense.
That time, Porter got away from him, but the shot too high off the glass. Rebound comes off the floor to Duckworth. Blocked by Benjamin. They're going to call a goaltend against Benoit Benjamin. Give the points to Kevin Duckworth, who has 12, and then lead back up to 4.
Sedale Three is really making Terry Porter work
Both
hard.
the guards playing excellent defense.
Yes, they are. That's really been why they're in this basketball game, because Payton...
And also controlling the tempo offensively.
Absolutely.
It's been that deliberate offense for the Sonics every time down the court.
How many fast breaks have you seen them get tonight, Portland? There's Gary Payton again. I told you the kid is a big game player and has had great games in this building playing for Oregon State.
It's a 2-point lead now. Payton has scored 6 points all of this quarter. Buck Williams has an open lane, lost the ball on the way up. That'll be a 2-shot foul. Sedale Threet called for his third. We've got a timeout.
The sports car I want is a Nissan. No, the one with super high steering. No, the other one with super high steering.
Payton and Threet, 7 for 11. 5 turnovers for Porter and Drexler, 2 turnovers for Payton and Threet, 12 assists for the Seattle guards, 8 assists for the Portland guards. So why do we have a tie ball game? Because those 2 guys have done a great job for their team tonight.
Despite the exhortations of this crowd to get Portland going, every time Portland pulls away by 5 or 7 points, back comes Seattle. And here's Buck Williams at the free throw line, trying to extend the lead to 4. He has 8 points tonight, 0 for 1 from the line. A very underrated player, one of the best rebounding men in the game. Led the league in field goal percentage this year, shooting at right at 60%. If they don't count on him for scoring, they count on him for rebounding and defense.
And the great thing about Buck Williams, he's willing to get himself out. He doesn't care if he scores. Seattle now has a chance to take the lead. Ricky Pierce back in the ball game. So you've got Ricky Pierce in the backcourt now with Gary Payton. So Sedale Three takes a little bit of a rest. That'll make Gary Payton now play Terry Porter, Ricky Pierce against Drexler.
71-68, a 3-point lead for the Blazers. Payton, playing like a crafty veteran, got the ball to Eddie Johnson, and he knew he traveled. And he's upset with himself. He's not upset about the call. He's upset that he couldn't handle a good pass from Gary Payton. Cliff Robinson checks back into the Blazer lineup along with Danny Ainge.
Let's see if Cliff Robinson's second half was a little bit better than his first. His first half played 3 minutes, had 3 fouls and a turnover, and did not score.
He will inbounds the ball for the Blazers. Doing a hula over there to get him going here in the second half.
He's a free spirit. There's no doubt about that.
2 minutes to go, third quarter. Drexler burned right by Ricky Pierce. What a shot there by Clyde Drexler. He has 20. And the lead back up to 5 for Portland. Eddie Johnson's had the hot hand. They keep getting him the ball. Drexler strips it away from him. Here are the Blazers on the run of 4-on-2. Kersey, he's been the trailer on that break whenever Portland's been able to run it. He has 26 points. The lead up to 7. Timeout called by Seattle.
Great play by Drexler on the baseline. This is the first highlight. This is the Michael Jordan of the West in terms of spectacular play. And here he is now with a steal. And who's the man running the lane again? I guess we could say it's Jerome Kersey with the slam dunk.
Well, you hear about all these phrases that teams come up with to try to inspire them down the stretch. Danny Ainge and Buck Williams came up with this phrase: you can talk the game, but can you play the game? And their answer to it is, Portland, we can play.
Well, they can play.
And this
They're going to have to play to beat this Seattle team.
It's a big seller. They're going to make it available to fans around the area of Portland. And you can see by all the banners and all the cards. Of course, the cards were passed out when the fans entered the building tonight. But these fans really into the Blazers here in Portland. This is the only Major League franchise in this city. And they'll love him.
I think they'll probably try to go to Ricky Pierce or maybe get him a jump shot with posting up McKee.
And Derek McKee with a turnaround jump shot.
He finally hit the spinning jump shot. He missed 3 of those in the first half.
5-point lead for the Blazers. 1:09 to go, third quarter. Payton on Drexler. Payton causing Drexler more problems there.
Boy, that hurt my knees. He fell on both knees on the floor.
Underneath Duckworth, sandwiched between 3 green jerseys. And Dick Pavetta's going to call the foul on Ricky Pierce.
They're not going to give him a 2-shot foul. Duckworth was trying to shoot the ball. They're going to give it on the side. Here's Duckworth now. He's trying to go up, and they're going to rule it on the side.
Change the foul. It's on Derek McKee, his 3rd.
Not in the penalty, so they'll have to take it sideline out of bounds.
Less than a minute to go now in the 3rd. Ainge.
See if they can get Ainge on track. He did not shoot the ball well in the first half. 0 for 4.
Loops it down to Duckworth. Duckworth has McKee right there. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound battle for. Going to stay right there.
Jerome Kersey has been the guy who's caused Seattle fits. On the offensive backboard, it's going to be a technical
call against Ricky Pierce. He had the personal foul called against him. He tried to show Jack Madden what he did. And he got a technical foul called on him.
Well, he grabbed Jerome Kersey by the shoulder and pulled him back, so Ainge will shoot the technical free throw. We have 43 seconds remaining in the quarter.
For Danny Ainge, his first point of quarter number 3.
Jerome Kersey has given him fits on the offensive boards. Here he is, and you see Ricky Pierce pulling him down. So now Jerome Kersey will shoot 2 free throws.
Kersey with 26 points on the night.
He only played 3 games against Seattle because of an injury to his leg, but in those 3 games he had 20 offensive rebounds, so almost 7 offensive rebounds per game against the Seattle team. And tonight...
And he scored in those games, too, averaging 23 points a game, which is about 8 points above his point-per-game average for the regular season. And he's way above that tonight. He has 28 already.
He's going to have 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in this game.
Way back up to 8. Seattle hoping that they don't let this one get away, and they've been able to stay in it so far. Derek McKee working against Robinson. The shot is up and in from Derek McKee. He now has 6.
Derek McKee is such a talented player, but he does not have a scorer's mentality. He is very content with getting 10, 11 points a game. I think he has tremendous talent.
Started many games for Seattle very early in his career. Now relegated to playing a bench role. Time running out of that shot clock.
Gonna get it up.
Out to Kersey. Can Kersey cash in this one? No. Rebound pulled away by Cage as the horn sounds, ending the 3rd quarter. Well, Seattle won't go away. Rick Adelman's Portland Trailblazers not having that easy a time of it. They lead it, though, after 3, 78-72.
Let me tell you my fantasy. I'm driving with the steering.
But in the third quarter, Seattle shot 9 for 12, 75%. But the big key was they got to the free throw line 12 times, made 11 of them. Portland took 23 shots in that quarter, made 11. But the free throw line kept Seattle alive. They shot 75% and 11 for 12 from the free throw line.
So Seattle doing what Portland normally does so well. That's get trips to the free throw line to keep the point total up, and it's a 6-point lead for the Blazers with the final quarter underway. Danny Ainge to the front court. He's out there with Robinson, with Drexler, with Buck Williams, and with Jerome Kersey. Alley-oop for nobody. Michael Cage comes up with it for the Sonics. Gives it off to Nate McMillan. Ricky Pierce, Derek McKee, and Sean Kemp make up the rest of the Seattle group on the court right now.
Got to get up on him. He'll shoot the jumper.
Hands of Jerome Kersey in the way again. Danny Ainge gives it off to Robinson. Robinson was too far underneath the basket, trying to flip it to anybody in a white shirt, and turned it over instead to Seattle.
Portland is out of sync, but you've got to give credit to Seattle. They are forcing them to play a game that they're not comfortable with right now. When they get a fast break, they're so excited they've not been able to convert.
McMillan with that deliberate pace that Gary Payton has run so well throughout this game, as the Sonics try to get back to it in 4. Kersey and McKee collide, no call. Sean Kemp's outside jumper, no. McKee the rebound. Back out to McMillan, a fresh 24 on the clock after the miss.
Derek McKee banged a knee. He's really limping right now. They're going to have to get him out of the game, I think.
Sean Kemp.
You see Derek McKee running down the floor. He's really hobbling right now.
Kemp now at 10 points. He's got a 4-point game again. Stolen by McMillan, but he couldn't control off Nate McMillan out of bounds.
When Terry Porter has sat down and he has not been on the floor tonight, Portland has a very difficult time running their offense. Seattle is swarming them defensively, double-teaming them, now showing some trap. They must get some direction right now in their half-court game.
With Robinson, who has struggled against Sean Kemp. Didn't struggle that time. He muscled it home. Sean Kemp fouled him. He'll go to the line for a chance for a 3-point play. Pete Van Weer and Doug Collins with you from Portland. We're in the final quarter of Game 1 of this best-of-5 series. It's 80-74, the Blazers. Kemp picking up his 3rd foul, and Cliff Robinson, who did a nice job off the bench for Rick Adelman all year, averaging about 12 points and about 4 rebounds. Just got his first 2 of this one.
On the season, he's a 66% free throw shooter.
Missing the free throw. Rebound pulled away by Kemp. 80-74, Blazers up by 6, 10-20 remaining in the game. Timeout's going to be called here by Seattle. The Sonics hanging around. They'll have the ball with a 6-point deficit and 10:22 remaining when this timeout expires. We'll be back.
It is one thing to accelerate from a standing start. Quite another at high speed.
That back condition is plaguing him just as much as it was before the playoffs began. That's an ankle of Derek McKee, which was bothering him. He's out of the lineup now. And we're back to live action here. A 6-point Portland lead. Ricky Pierce couldn't get it to fall. There's Buck Williams with another rebound.
Well, that was a great shot by Ricky Pierce. He got a wide open 8-foot shot. He just didn't.
He doesn't miss that shot.
No, that's a shot you'd like to see him take a lot if you're Casey Jones.
Drexler looping it underneath. The Portland Trailblazers have had this happen to them 3 or 4 times.
You know what's problem is Seattle's doing a good job fronting the post, and they're trying to throw over the fronting of the post, and they have turned the ball over at least 3 times on that same play.
Back outside, Nate McMillan. A 3-point effort by McMillan wouldn't go. Cade got a hand on it. Eddie Johnson pulls the loose ball off the floor and puts it home. Eddie Johnson now with 22 points. And it's back to a 4-point game. Sonics giving the Blazers everything they can muster here in this opening game of the best-of-5 series. When Portland's needed a big bucket, it's been either Drexler or Kersey that's gotten it for him tonight. Danny Ainge has not been able to get a hot hand. He's going to try to change that here and does.
Well, his 3-point shot has not gone. That time he took it to the basket. Nice play by Danny Ainge.
That's his first field goal of the night. 82-74, Portland by 6. Pierce taking it up against Ainge off the glass, high off the glass for 2. He has 12.
Now that was the toughest shot he's taken all night. He makes that one. The previous possession, he had missed a wide open play.
Drexler gets the baseline, hooked the ball, and drew the foul. A chance for a 3-point play. The acrobatic style of Clyde the Glide. And a chance to get that lead back up to 7 points.
Here's the fronting of the post again. You see the throw over the top. Eddie Johnson tries to get there. Not soon enough. 3-point play opportunity. Portland now has what I think is the most dangerous team on the floor. Late in the game, you've got the 3 guards, Ainge, Porter, and Drexler.
But the easiest bucket of the night for Eddie Johnson so far as he just waltzed along that baseline. 24 points for Eddie Johnson, 85-80. Ainge going to try one from behind Buck Williams. Couldn't get it to fall. The put back by Williams wouldn't go. Ricky Pierce pulls away the rebound. Here they come again, Doug. Seattle really putting forth a great effort tonight in this game.
Eddie Johnson feels it too. He's an offensive player. He's looking to take the ball to the basket. Normally a catch-and-shoot player. You want him to put it on the floor. Last time he drives baseline for a layup. This time he comes middle, gets to the free throw line. So Eddie Johnson's doing it all right now offensively for Seattle.
Don't forget another TNT NBA playoff doubleheader coming up tomorrow. It'll be Utah and Phoenix. The Suns trying to get back on their feet after that opening game. Ron Thule and Jack Gibbons will have that one for you. And then Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Bob Bale, Hubie Brown. Game 2 of that one. Milwaukee also playing on their home court down 1.
How about Eddie Johnson? He's an 89% free throw shooter. Shoot 89% in the NBA. That'll be 9th in the league.
Yeah, how about that? Cliff Robinson lost the ball as he went along toward the paint, but it was tipped out by Seattle. 8:03 to go, a 3-point lead for the Blazers, who have led it pretty much all night long, but not by much.
I guarantee you right now, Rick Adelman wants to get out of this building with a win tonight and breathe a sigh of relief because Seattle is going to push him right to the wire.
Porter into the paint, underneath to Cliff Robinson.
It's a good foul, though. They're not going to give him a 2-shot foul. They're going to take it out of bounds on the side, so good play. No layups.
It's against Michael Cage. And that's 3 on him. Under 8 minutes to go in the game now. 85-82 Portland. Drexler's going to try one from out there. He buries it. It's been Drexler or it's been Kersey. They have been the 2 big guns for the Blazers tonight. Drexler's second 3-pointer of the night. He has 26 in the game. It's a 6-point lead.
They need a couple defensive stops right now, though.
Pierce losing the ball. The turnover. Loose ball. Picked up Cliff Robinson. 3-on-2 break. Robinson tried to take it wall-to-wall. Drew the foul. He'll go to the line. Nate McMillan called for it.
Portland is so explosive. You see, they just want to get off on this run, an 8-0 or 10-0 run to get them to put this game away. But Seattle has done a good job of controlling tempo, keeping their turnovers to a minimum, and getting the ball in the hands of their scorers, Eddie Johnson and Ricky Pierce. Sadale Threet's getting ready to check back into the ball game after his first free throw.
Robinson, who missed his earlier effort from the line, is now 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Robinson in just his second year out of Connecticut. Nice draft pick by Portland. He's really contributed his first 2 years. There's Sadale Threet back in, replacing Nate McMillan.
Now, Sadale Threet is going to give them a little bit better offensive shooter out on the floor. McMillan, a little bit bigger, rangier, better rebounder. Sadale Threet's a better offensive player and has done a great job pressuring the point of the ball defensively.
Robinson makes 1 of 2. He has 3 points in the game. The lead back up to 7. You saw the time left. About 7 minutes now, 15 seconds. Away from the ball, a whistle from Dick Bavetta. Benoit Benjamin's going to check back in, replacing Michael Cage. Drexler called for that foul away from the ball. Kevin Duckworth checking back in, replacing Cliff Robinson.
A good move by Rick Adelman when Casey Jones went back in with his big man, Benoit Benjamin. Rick Adelman counters with Kevin Duckworth, realizing he needs the size inside to go against Benoit Benjamin, who's played a very good second half. Ricky Pierce wants to isolate against Ainge.
He's got him isolated. The basket will count. The foul's going to be against Danny Ainge.
See, the upper body strength of Ricky Pierce, he drives you where he wants to take you. You see him, they isolate. Now, once he drives it, he gets the bump, he fades back, and knocks the shot in. Ricky Pierce, a tremendous free throw shooter. Third in the league at 91%.
Yeah, 89% is good for ninth. You shoot better than that. 91% still only gets you third.
Well, you shoot 9-1-7, it gets you second because 9-1-8 wins it.
That was Reggie Miller of Indiana. Outstanding foul shooting by the NBA leaders this year. Under 7 minutes to go now. 89-85. Sonics back to within 4.
Well, the switching defense has really taken Portland out of their offense. Right now, you've got...
And there's the way that Portland has answered all night long. Drexler now has 8 points in the quarter, 28 in the game. He and Jerome Kersey each with 28 points and a 91-85 lead now.
So what's happening is Drexler's going at Ricky Pierce now defensively, forcing him to play defense. That's a charge.
And that's the call made by Dick Bavetta. That is 4 now on Eddie Johnson. And that gives the ball back to Portland. It'll come inbounds to Danny Ainge. He'll walk it down. Right back to Ainge from Drexler. The lead back up to 8 now. Closing in on the 6-minute mark here in the final quarter. Timeout Seattle. But Blazer Mania beginning to heat up at Memorial Coliseum in Portland. We've got a timeout, 6:09 to go in the game.
Mystic places, psychic phenomena, unnatural experiences.
Kevin Duckworth a better first half, 12 points, 12 rebounds, most of it coming in the first half. Benoit Benjamin's production a little better in the second half.
Well, what Portland has done the last few times is they've gone at Eddie Johnson and Ricky Pierce. You're going to see Ainge gives it up, a little bump screen, isolation on the weak side, and over the top pass to Danny Ainge. So right now, Rick Adelman is saying if they're going to go to Eddie Johnson and Ricky Pierce offensively, then we're going to go at those guys and make them play defense. Drexler's had some big hoops, and now Danny Ainge follows with one.
93-85 your score. I don't know as though I have ever seen so many banners and signs inside one building. Homemade ones I'm talking about now, not the kind that are passed out by the clubs to the customers coming in. Don't forget Game 2 in this series. Second half of our Sunday night TNT doubleheader. Atlanta Hawks, Detroit Pistons. A big second game for the Pistons there. In case you missed it, Atlanta won the opening game of that series tonight at Auburn Hills. Well, there we go with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Ricky Pierce left uncovered. You don't very often get away with that. They did that time. Ball came back to Pierce. He puts it up again. Missed both of them. Basket is going to count, though, by Benoit Benjamin.
Seattle just will not die, Pete. They're staying tough. Ricky Pierce misses 2 shots. Finally, on the third offensive rebound, Benoit Benjamin with a tip in, and Eddie Johnson's trying to get to the free throw line. I think they're going to make Benjamin shoot the free throw. Here's Ricky Pierce now. Shot goes up. Tip in by Benoit Benjamin. Eddie Johnson tried to get to the free throw line, saying he was the one that was fouled, but Jack Madden will have nothing to do with that, so Benoit Benjamin shoots the free throw.
Benjamin tonight has hit 5 out of 6 from the line. 6 out of 7. He has 12 points on the night. It is back to a 5-point game. Now some Seattle backcourt pressure. Drexler baseballs it over to Terry Porter. He has not had anything going offensively tonight. Drexler's putback won't go. Eddie Johnson clears for Seattle Sonics and get it back to 3 now.
Terry Porter's had a real tough night. He just cannot get on track offensively. Give credit to some Seattle defense.
Porter now only 1 of 7 from the field.
Little isolation, Pierce.
And with 2 seconds left to shoot it, they had to force up that shot, and we got a whistle from Jack Madden, and a foul called right at the end of the shot clock against Portland. Rick Adelman can't be happy with that call. It's the third against Terry Porter. And it'll put Cedeo Freed at the line. Freak with 12 points, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. This can be a 3-point game, or maybe a 4-point game if Freak can make the second one. He missed number 1. 5 minutes, 12 seconds remaining. Freak makes 1 of 2. He has 13 in the game. It's a 4-point Portland lead. Free throws dead even as far as free throws made. Seattle's made 23 of them. Portland's made 23 of them. Portland's only had 3 more trips to the line than Seattle tonight.
Well, that's why Seattle's been able to stay in the game. Big discrepancy in the first half. Seattle, that's a bad shot right now by Kersey.
Comes back to Buck Williams, and he got fouled going up.
Portland
Chance for Buck Williams to cash in too here.
Portland is just impatient tonight offensively. You can see that they want to break loose, and they have not been able to get in any kind of offensive flow because of the switching defense by Seattle, and they've hoisted up a lot of outside jump shots.
They have, and any little spurt that Portland's put out there tonight's only been a 4 or 5 point spurt, and Seattle comes right back. They haven't had one of those 15-2 runs that Portland has been known to do to a lot of teams this year. Buck Williams misses the first one.
See, Buck Williams is shooting about 70% on the season. Cliff Robinson shooting 65% on the season. The rest of the Portland Trailblazers, Jerome Kersey shooting 70%. So if they do have a weakness, it's the fact that a couple of those guys you can foul, and maybe they'll miss 1 of the 2.
Williams now with 10 points on the night, back to a 5-point game, 94-89. Seattle staying right with the Blazers, 4:44 to go. Sedale Freak bringing it down against Terry Porter. Ricky Pierce trying to get open, can't. We are seeing some defense played now on both sides. Rebound pulled off the floor by Porter.
Keep your eye on Clyde Drexler.
Keep your eye on Clyde Drexler.
I can see him swooping.
And now you're going to see him shooting free throws.
Oh, you can see it. I mean, he was just sizing it up, waiting for the pass to come to him on the left lane. There he is right there, and he extends so big.
Here's another look. Drexler missed the first one.
Here's again from the slam cam.
That's 4 now in Sedale Freak, by the way. Drexler makes 1 of 2. He has 29 points in the game. It's a 6-point lead. 95-89 again. The Sonics a chance to trade a point for 2 if they can score this trip. Pierce turning the ball over. There's Drexler again.
Ricky Pierce is trying so hard to throw his body in there and get to the free throw line. He's lost the ball 3 times on drives where they've double-teamed him, and he's coughed it up. He's getting himself in a tough position.
Got to ask you a question, Doug. I know that they want Ricky Pierce in there because of the shooting ability that he has, but Gary Payton, who played so well in this game, has been on the bench for quite an extended time now.
I guess what, Casey Jones feels like his best team is Ricky Pierce as a big guard opposite Sedale Freak. You've got the experience in the scoring. Gary Payton has played well. He's hit some big shots. But I think Casey Jones is very comfortable with his team on the floor. He feels like he can go to Eddie Johnson or Pierce. He's got Kemp and Benjamin on the offensive glass and Sedale Freak handling the basketball. So I think he likes this lineup to finish up with.
Kersey makes 1 of 2. It's 96-89. Eddie Johnson in a little foul trouble now. That last personal was against him. He now has 5. We've got 4:05 remaining in the ball game. Blazers up by 7. Timeout.
We didn't look at it like everyone else. That was too confining. Instead, we opened up the Infiniti G20 with a luxurious cabin-forward design and the exhilaration of a 140 horsepower engine. It's designed to give you breathing room and take your breath away.
Nobody's left this building. It's 96-89. The Blazers being given a real battle in game 1 of this best-of-5 series by the Seattle Sonics, who come from just 180 miles away from here in a great Pacific Northwest rivalry.
Yeah, these two teams have met in the playoff series about 3 or 4 other times. So it's a local rivalry, which just adds to the fact that Seattle would like to upset Portland, knowing Portland is the prohibitive favorite.
We've got 4:05 to go. It is Freak, Cage, Pierce, Kemp, and Eddie Johnson playing with 5 personals. Porter, Duckworth, Drexler, Williams, and Kersey, the starting unit out there for the Blazers. Eddie Johnson, a three-pointer for Eddie Johnson.
That's the veteran experience in the playoffs, Pete. You just can't beat it. That's why Casey Jones wants Ricky Pierce and Eddie Johnson out on the floor right now, because they've made big shots throughout their career.
29 points now for Johnson. That one blocked by Sean Kemp into the hands of Eddie Johnson. And here come the Sonics again. They've got it back to within 4. 3.5 minutes remaining. Off it comes to Ricky Pierce. Pierce comes up a little short. Rebound pulled away by Kevin Duckworth. Duckworth's done a good job on the boards tonight when he's been in there. Still 96-92. Closing in on the 3-minute mark.
See, they're really going at Ricky Pierce right now defensively. Clyde Drexler really making him work. You know, we went through the stats in the third quarter, and what Peyton Reed had done against Porter and Drexler. Well, Drexler now has exploded, and they're going at Ricky Pierce, forcing him to play defense.
As you saw there in that reset, if the Sonics do get back into this one factor which may work against them, they only have one timeout left. It has been Clyde Drexler in this second half. It was mostly Jerome Kersey in the first half and early in the third quarter. 98-92, back to a 6-point lead. Under 3 minutes to go now in the game. Eddie Johnson, another one from long range. Rebound comes out deep to Pierce. Oh, E.J. almost.
What a tough catch.
But still he caught it. Kevin Duckworth is going to save Dick Bavetta from taking a spill into the scorer's table. Looked like he was working a hand puppet there for a while, didn't it?
He had a little marionette. Look at him, just sort of lift him up. It's going to be a comforting feeling for Dick Bavetta. Next foul he calls on him.
He's still smiling about it. Bavetta. 2:40 remaining. 98-92. Sadeo Freed open from outside. Nails that one. That's 15 points. 98-94. 2.5 minutes to go. Sonics back to within 4 of the Blazers. Porter having trouble with Freed defensively.
Sadeo is just really pressuring him the whole ball game.
Drexler's going to try one from three-point land. It wouldn't go. The rebound pulled away by Freed. Sonics on the run. They got a 4-on-2 break. Michael Cage got fouled. Nope. Yes. Porter called for the foul. He thought they were going to get the offensive foul called against Michael Cage. Instead, Terry Porter is called for his 4th, and now Seattle can get back to within 2. Crowd saw that same replay you just did, folks. That's why they are reacting.
See, I don't like that Sadeo Freed gave that ball up to Michael Cage in that situation. I think Michael Cage is a guy that's not going to be able to finish the play for you. We'll see if he can get through 2 free throws.
He hasn't scored yet tonight. A 62% free throw shooter, and he gets the first one. It's now a 3-point game.
Tough
That's a tough call.
Yeah, it is a tough call.
Looks like Porter may have established position there. Cage makes 2 huge free throws for Seattle. It's back to a 2-point game, closing in on the 2-minute mark.
Now, if I were to ask Casey Jones, coach, we're going to put 2 minutes on the clock. It's a 2-point game. Would you take it? I think he would jump at that chance to win a game and steal the first game in this series.
Drexler, an impossible shot.
That was.
There was no way to make that shot. 4-point lead now. Pierce thought he got fouled. Eddie Johnson launching one from out in 3-point land. Nope.
Not a good shot. That was too quick. No one was back. I know it would look good if it would have gone in, but still, Pete, at that time, up down 4, that was not a good shot.
It gives Portland a chance to get that lead back up to a half-dozen points, and time becoming a factor now. 1:30 remaining. Foul is going to be called on Ricky Pierce. That's his 4th.
Well, Clyde Drexler's winning the matchup of Ricky Pierce and himself in this 4th quarter. This will be his, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th free throw he shot in this quarter. The Blazers now have shot 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 free throws in this quarter, so back on track where they were in the first half.
And Seattle's only fired 8 from the free throw line. Drexler having a big 4th quarter, big finish to a big game for Portland. 35 points for Drexler. 15 of them have come in this fourth quarter. Back up to a 6-point lead, closing in on the 1-minute mark. Sean Kemp tries one, fires up an air ball off the floor. Eddie Johnson had a hand on it. Somebody's going to get called for Portland. It's going to be Jerome Kersey. That's 4 on him. And that'll get one of the league's best free throw shooters back to the line. Eddie Johnson. This is a guy that's a really valuable guy for Seattle to have in the opening round of the playoffs, simply because of his playoff experience.
Oh, so much. I mean, that's why they have him. You put the youth out there of Peyton, and you've got Sean Kemp, and you've got Benoit Benjamin in his first playoff game, and you add Eddie Johnson, and you add a Sadale Threet with Krause and Ricky Pierce. It gives them experience, so they've got a good blend right now. They just sometimes will take a tough shot. You know, I didn't like Sean Kemp's shot there, but they were able to get bailed out with a loose ball and 2 free throws.
31 points now for Eddie Johnson, 102-98.
Still plenty of time. You don't want to foul. There's 2 or 3 possessions left in this ball game for Seattle, so if they can stop them a couple times, they got a chance to win this ball game.
Kersey over Cade. Jerome Kersey. It's been Kersey, it's been Drexler. It's been Drexler, it's been Kersey. Blazers up by 6. 47 seconds to go. Foul's going to be called on Kevin Duckworth.
See, now Eddie Johnson, again, he's a 90% free throw shooter, so that's like giving him 2 points. You've got to
stopping the clock.
That's right. They have 1 timeout remaining. So every time they stop and they can regroup here, they can talk to Casey Jones. He can set the defense. Here's Kersey. And I'm not so sure as a rookie he could have made that outside shot. That's a lot of hard work. A guy getting out and working on his game to be able to make that open jump shot when you're not a great shooter coming into this league.
Eddie Johnson now 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Here comes Gary Payton back in, replacing Ricky Pierce.
That's a defensive substitution. Look for them to go full court trap.
Eddie Johnson 10 for 10 from the free throw line. Back to a 4-point game. We've got a full court press trap on now.
Remember, Buck Williams is not a good free throw shooter, about 70%. Kersey at 70%.
Drexler. Back up to a 6-point lead. Seattle's going to spend its final timeout here with 32.4 seconds remaining.
Muscles of the neck, back, and legs run.
Drexler, add to that 30 points by Jerome Kersey, and those two have combined for 67 of Portland's 106 points tonight.
Now Dana Barros is in the game, a good 3-point shooter. Ricky Pierce, a 3-point shooter. Eddie Johnson, Sadale Threet.
Threet's going to drive the lane. Williams there to block the shot. Pierce follows and gets fouled.
Well, they're going to spread the floor, try to get a quick 2. If they collapse, you pitch it out. Sadale drives it to the basket. Here's a nice block by Buck Williams. Ricky Pierce picks up the loose ball. 3rd leading free throw shooter in the NBA. You expect him to make the 2 free throws. You've got a quick defensive team in for Seattle. It'll be interesting to see if Rick Adelman calls timeout if these 2 free throws go in or if he elects to go full court against this pressure defense.
Ricky Pierce coming over from a long stay with the Milwaukee Bucks. Dale Ellis went over there, and Ellis can't play in the playoffs because of an injury. 106-101, 5-point game, 25, just over 25 seconds to go. It's a 4-point lead again. Ainge gets it across to Drexler. Showtime. 39 for Drexler. Kemp, as Seattle frantically tries to catch up in this one. Pierce fouls Ainge in the backcourt. But it appears that the Trailblazers have pulled away in this final minute from Casey Jones and the Supersonics.
Well, you could think Jerome Kersey and Drexler. Drexler has 19 points in the 4th quarter. Kersey hit a big basket. He had a tremendous first half, so it's been a 2-man game. Terry Porter never got on track. He was under terrific defensive pressure all night, could never get himself going. The bench scoring 26 to 10 now. Portland only 10 points off the bench as Danny Ainge steps up for 2 free throws.
And rarely do you see that happen. Danny Ainge missing one from the line. But that is the strength of the Portland Trailblazer team. They have so many weapons, so many ways to beat you. Tonight it was Kersey and Drexler. We'll be back here again on Sunday night for Game 2. It's liable to be Duckworth and Robinson. You just never know with this Portland team. Down to 7 seconds remaining. 109-102. The Trailblazers are going to win this first game from Seattle. But they had to work all night long to get it. Porter pulls down the rebound.
Porter will be shooting two free throws
before things are done here. Terry Porter got fouled just before the buzzer sounded. So it's the Portland Trailblazers winning over the Seattle Supersonics in Game 1 of this best-of-5 series. And Terry Porter, who, as Doug mentioned, did not have a big night tonight, gets the honor of putting the final points on the board. He only had 1 field goal all night long, and that's very unlike a Terry Porter ball game. He makes 1 of 2 and will walk back to celebrate with the rest of his teammates. Rick Adelman got the victory over K.C. Jones, but Adelman and the Blazers had to work for it. 110-102 our final. Portland takes a 1-0 lead in the best-of-5 series. Now back to Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios.
Thank you very much, Pete Van Weir. Not much give up in that bunch from Seattle. They play him tough right down to the stretch, but it's Portland 110-102 over Seattle. Joined again by Rick Barry here in the studio.